Hey Cha-Cha Nation.
Hi Cha-Cha Nation.
Hi Cha-Cha Nation.
Yes, so Cha-Cha Nation. This na Cha-Cha Music Review Podcast. And based on logistics, we're going to amplify the African sound by bringing the best of African music into your ears.
Yeah.
Cha-Cha Nation, welcome to another episode of the Cha-Cha Album Review Series on the Cha-Cha Music Review Podcast. I am Hafeestonova, your musical plug, the creator of the Energy Force. Today, I'll be talking about Wizkid's sixth album titled Morayo. The album was dropped on the 22nd of November and the album has 16 tracks. The album features the likes of Asake, Jasmine, Sullivan, Anaïs, Cardot, Tiakola, and Brent, Faiyaz. Those were the people that featured on the album. And the album was produced by majorly by P2J with, other producers like P Primes and Damedame. Those were the people, that produced the album. Now, prior to the release of this album, Wizkid lost his mom, and when he announced that his next album will be named after her, so people started assuming the kind of Wizkid we are going to get on this album. Are we going to get the party Wizkid? Are we going to get the sober and sad Wizkid? Oh, we are going to do away with the she tell me. Say, there was so much of assumption on what the album is going to sound like. And when the first single of the album dropped, which is Piece of My Heart, there was a lot of mixed reaction to the single, right? And there was even a bit of controversy surrounding the originality of the song. But then again, all of those noise was put to bed when the second single dropped, which is titled Kese. And oh boy, people actually danced to this song. Even me, I'm not gonna lie, I dance. I Kese and I shakini and I dance. Now, for someone who hasn't really enjoyed Wizkid's last two projects as much as I would have wanted to, I would say this is a good project, for me. Wizkid went in two directions on this album, and to a large extent, it worked, especially with the production. Shout out to P2J, like I said, he mostly produced, the album. As also shout out to P Primes and Damedame, who also came through, on the production of the album. Now, the first direction that Wizkid went on this album is that direction where he brought back that, Wizkid of those soccer era, that Alujo era, where he was giving us dance song. That was the first direction that Wizkid went into, with songs like Kese, Soji, Bend, Bad Girl, Karamo. You could tell that Wizkid really dig deep to go back. Like, look, man, just because I decide to be lush and all of that doesn't mean that I can't still do this. And that was what he did in the first direction. The second direction he went to was still to show us that, look, I have gotten to this level and this is the level that I want to maintain. I have found my new sound, let me put it like that, in this lush, relaxed, mid-tempo love song, and that is where I want to stay into. Like I said, we sung like what is to call it, A Piece of My Heart, we sung like Time, we sung like Slow, we sung like Bad For You. Wizkid made us understood, like, look, this is the place that I want to be, and this is my comfort zone. If there's one thing I really like about this album is how was able to finally, should I use the word finally, or should I say he was able to blend the old Wizkid and the new Wizkid that we already know into the album, and they were not really contradicting each other. I'm not going to lie, when I listened to this album for the first time, I was really impressed, which is something that hasn't happened for some couple of projects from Wizkid. I could remember it took me about 3 to 4 months for me to finally get a grip of Made in Lagos. And even till now, I'm not gonna lie now, More Love, Less Ego I still never catch on. Let me put it like that. I still never catch on. Not like I hate the album, like I don't like the album, but listening to this one, Morayo, for the first time, and the thing just hits, I knew, and that is just to prove that yes, this album is a good album coming from Wizkid. Now, where would this album rank in all of the album that Wizkid has released? I can't say for now, but one thing is certain, on a personal level, I would say this is one of my favorite albums coming from Wizkid. I so much enjoy this album. Every time I play the album, I listen to the album, I so much enjoy it. Now, for those of you that might be saying, oh, Wizkid didn't do anything extraordinary, Wizkid didn't do anything special, blah 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 blah. I really want to say this, and this is not because of Wizkid. I'm saying this for every other artist. For artists like Wizkid, Burna Boy, Davido, Olamide, yeah, those 4. These artists are artists that I say, and I will continue to say, they have nothing else to prove. They've done it, they've been there, they've done everything they are supposed to do. Whatever sound they put out now is what they feel and what is comfortable for them to put out. We shouldn't be looking up to these 4 to say, oh, they should take us to the next level. We have people like Crema, we have people like Omale, we have people like Victoni, we have people like Fireboy, we have people like Asake that we are now supposed to be looking onto and say, okay, these are supposed to be the ones to create that new sound that we might be craving. Not people like Wizkid. If people like Wizkid do it, it's not as if they shouldn't do it or they can't do it or they are not supposed to do it. No, but we shouldn't be expecting that, okay, this new album or Wizkid is supposed to use when they call them defined new sound or creates new sound, and if he doesn't do it, he has failed. No. As much as he put out a quality project, that is the most important thing at this stage of his career, which also goes to the likes of Davido, Burna Boy, and Olamide. At this stage of their career, whatever album they put out, as much as it is good, we just need to accept it that it is good. And if it is not good, then we go talk and say, okay, the album no enter. It's not about defining a sound or creating a sound or what is the next thing for Afrobeat. They don't try. Make we just, leave them. But all of that being said, Morayo is a good album. One thing that I really take home from this album is the fact that the mindset of Wizkid, and I think this is something a lot of people missed on this album, right? Because, well, like I said, during the announcement and promotion and probably recording of this album, Wizkid lost his mom, right? And everybody was looking for, what kind of Wizkid are we going to get on this album? And when he even named the album Morayo, we're like, the album is dedicated to his mom, blah, blah, blah. And then you started listening to the songs on the album and you were getting down song, love song. You're like, even if you dedicate one song to him, mom, see, blah, 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 blah. There was a lot of stuff like that. But you all missed the fact in the first song, which is Try to Troubled Mind, he said everything he wanted to say on that song. He spoke about how, you can see him smoking, you can see him drinking, you can see him flexing and all of that. But that doesn't mean that his mind is not troubled. But look, this is how I choose, or this is how I want to grieve. And this is how I want to, deal with what I'm dealing with. I just want to enjoy myself, give thanks to life. Mama has already done the best she could do. She has linked me Ayo and she has said there's not going to be another me, which was another thing he said in the song titled Prayer, where he also mentioned pray, where he also mentioned his mother, right? So that song Troubled Mind for me set the tone. When I listen to Troubled Mind, I'm like, okay, I love the fact that this is the first track and I love everything you said on this. So with this, I can just listen to this album and enjoy the fact that, okay, this Wizkid you just want vibe, enjoy your life and probably forget the sorrows of your troubled mind. Like I said, it's a good album. The rating of the album is going to be a 7/10. I know a lot of you've listened to the album, right? So let me know if I'm capping on this album, whether the album enter, no enter, make I know. And for those of you who never listened to the album, go and listen to the album and tell me what you feel about this album. Once again, the rating is going to be a 7/10. With that, I have come to the end of another episode of the Chacha album review series. Till I come here with another episode, my name will always remain Hafeestonova, your musical plug, the creator of the Energy Force. Remember, when the pressure is getting worse, please take a break and take care of your mental health. It is very, very important. Peace out.
Time for the Cha-Cha gang. Give me the Cha-Cha gang. Rocking with the best, Cha-Cha gang. Give me the Cha-Cha gang. Alayela with Cha-Cha gang. Give me the Cha-Cha gang. What's my body, Cha-Cha gang. Give me the Cha-Cha gang. Cha-Cha gang. What's my body?